LSU, Alabama, coming up this Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. How are you feeling about this game? Where are you on the confidence meter? What are the keys to this game? How can LSU get out of Tuscaloosa with a win, keeping their season alive, their season goals alive, I should say, their college football playoff hopes, SEC hopes, and really, let's no sugarcoating it, the hopes of Jaden Daniels to win the Heisman, to be considered for the Heisman. The hopes for all these LSU Tigers to be up for awards come season's end, which, as we know, equals huge, always pays big dividends on the recruiting trail. So, this is the game. This is it. And I know LSU still have to beat Florida, still have to beat A&M, Georgia State, of course. I get it. There's still tests to come, including the SEC title game as well. After that, we'd have to win that game to get into the college football playoff as well. But we are going to do exactly as Bill Belichick would say, as Brian Kelly would say, as Nick Saban would say. We're going to take it one game at a time. Everyone was looking ahead when it was Army. We did not look ahead. We previewed that game thoroughly. LSU accomplished the mission, got the shutout, defensive improvements, offensive fireworks across the board. Malik Neighbors, another 100-yard game. Brian Thomas Jr., another 100-yard game. You know the numbers. Malik Neighbors, the number one receiver in the country. Jaden Daniels, number one in many different categories, top 2, 3, and a bunch of others. This offense, number one in every single category, it appears almost. It's sickening what this offense can do, how palpable it is, how scarily good this offense can be. But they are running into the best defensive test they will face probably all year. Texas A&M have a damn good defense. Georgia, of course, if LSU get there, will have a damn good defense. But so far, Alabama's defense will be the best they've faced. Multiple in scheme. Caleb Downs, incredible. Kool-Aid McKinstry shut down. Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell bringing on the pressures. They've got some difference makers on the defensive side, even though they lost, considerable talent in the last draft. This is still a defense I'm worried about. A defense that, listen, potentially with our defense being so porous, Jalen Milroe only needs his guys to get a few stops as well. So you might be thinking that, hey, we just need a few stops against Milroe. They're thinking the same thing. Believe me. And Alabama are more capable of it than we are. Alabama, LSU are literally dead last in the nation in red zone percentage. When teams get in the red zone, they score against us automatically. Field goals or touchdowns, they score. We are also one of the worst in the nation. I believe it was 107th in third down completion percentage. I think it was 45%. LSU have to get off this field to win this game. LSU have to give Jaden Daniels some stops, some breathing room. Whether it's early, late, middle, I don't care. Give him some breathing room, and then our offense has to capitalize off the points. Anytime our defense gets turnovers, forces punts, holds Alabama to field goals, that's not just a win. Okay? You have to seal that win by then our offense punching in points, and we know they will do it likely. I'm just saying, simply put, like, we just think, oh, if our defense gets turnovers, we win this game. Our offense still has to do it, guys. And this is against the best defense they've played. I'll put that LSU offense up against any defense in the country. I am that confident in this offense. Still, I'm worried they'll have to play a perfect game, wire to wire, for us to get through them. And that against Nick Saban is dangerous. Granted, a shootout favors LSU. If we get this game into some type of track meet where we can get some type of little bit of just space for Jaden Daniels, 7 points, 10 points, 9 points, 8 points, if you can continually keep that space going, and we are in a type of track meet thing, of course it favors LSU. Will Alabama's defense wilt like that? I'm not so sure, but here's one thing I am really interested about. Alabama's defense have allowed a ton of sacks this season. There are only 4 teams in the country who have allowed more sacks than Alabama this season. And it sucks that we have to go into this game without Mekhi Wingo. But there is enough artillery on that defensive line to do the job. Proctor is a weak matchup. Almost anybody except for J.C. Latham, go target him. You can destabilize him. We have to see a big game from Jordan Jefferson. We need to see a big game from Braden Swinson, Savion Jones, Mason Smith specifically, as I said earlier in the Mekhi Wingo video. We have to see his biggest game. This front have to have a game. And I know we should be focusing on the DBs and the injuries, and really, like, this front have to help out the back end, or we're gonna have a hell of a time. It has to come from the front first. But as for the defensive backfield, I know this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound weird. This is going to sound bizarre. But I almost feel a little more confident in this defensive backfield with the young guys. I know it sounds crazy. I like what Sage Ryan has done. Whether it is LT Welch, whether it is Jeremiah Hughes, whether Ashton Stamps can be healthy for this game, whether it's Javian Toviano, I back them to succeed. But I think a big portion of them being successful against Alabama, these freshmen, is playing them in the right positions. Nickel, boundary corner, who's going to play where? They've moved Javian Toviano all over the place. Where's he going to be best suited? Is he going to be best at nickel? Is he going to be best at boundary corner? You got to figure it out. Sage Ryan, it feels like they want him at nickel, but this could be a game for him to be moved out to boundary corner. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You've got Denver Harris there. He's not even going to travel. Not even going to travel. And you got to wonder what the hell's going on. What he could be doing that's so egregious, because it's a little intense that, I mean, how many games he had not traveled, not participated in. It's crazy. And LSU, it's going to be everybody. We're going to need everybody for this one, guys. Like, we need the biggest games of their lives. They've got to stand up and be counted. Ashton Stamps, I hope we get to see him. He's one of the most talented young guys we've got. Ryan Yates, this is a very versatile young guy who could play, he's been playing dime back. You could play him at corner. He's played a lot at corner in high school. He's played some corner in spring and fall. It's hard to say what they will do out there. I'm sure we will see Javian Tobiano in some capacity. Sage Ryan, of course. Sage Ryan's going to be the guy they're going to have to really hang their hat on out there. He had a big forced fumble last year. Nearly a big play in the game. Reviewed. It was a sick punch-out forced fumble. And he's got to do stuff like that again. He's got to take Isaiah Bond out of this game. Someone's got to take Jeremiah Burton out of this game. There's going to be open shots for Milroe. And I know he's he only has like 169 yards on the season. But the tight end Dupree, this guy gets like one catch a game, but they're the biggest back-breaking catches possible. Like 1 for 45, 1 for 30, and they're always like on third down against teams that just kill teams. Everyone's Nyblack is the guy who gets everyone's attention at tight end, but really, Dupree will slip out and make these big plays. I'm worried if Alabama run the football. Because then if they are able to run the football, what are we going to do? This is going to be a wild game. I really do think that this game is going to have it all. I think this game is going to be must-see TV for college football fans. If you want an advertisement for what is best about the game, this is going to be it. Two defenses, maybe not at their best, still full of big names who could rise to the occasion. Two offenses led by the two most athletic quarterbacks in the game. A Heisman frontrunner in Jaden Daniels. The best offense in college football against, ranked in the top 15 in nearly every category on defense. So you got that, Saban defense versus Jaden Daniels offense subplot going. And I wouldn't even call it, that's a major plot point. I don't know. I don't know how to call this one. And I'm not going to hesitate if I feel Alabama's going to beat us, guys. I'm not going to hesitate to make that call. But do I feel like this LSU team, this LSU offense are going to fail? That they're not going to be able to outscore Alabama, even, if need be? That's hard for me to bet against this offense. That's almost impossible for me to do that. So what do we do? We're going to have to see who takes shape at corner and safety. Talk to some coaches, circle back. We were talking to one coach today. He was kind of like setting us straight, like, hey, we're paying attention to that. Like, we're dialed in. And I was like, I'm sorry, coach. I know, I have a lot of football to learn from you guys. That's why I always hit you guys up. And he's kind of like, it's all good. We we've got a lot to go over, and I was like, you guys are going to do this, you got this. And sent us some inspirational stuff, and didn't want to bother them, but I was clearly probably doing that, but couldn't help myself. It's LSU Alabama week, and I just wanted them to know we are in their corner, and some of the guys are really responding well to this moment. I'm just going to say that. Some of the young guys. And there's some young guys who are going to know tomorrow whether they're going to be playing a big role. Tomorrow's going to be the day when a lot of guys find out whether they're going to be playing or not. So stay tuned on LSUODYSSEY.com. We're going to have some information and some lineup predictions going there. So everybody, keep it locked. We'll have more LSU Alabama previews coming your way.